This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there, it's Jeff Carter, and welcome you to the Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. This is kind of the first day of winter, December 22nd. There is no on this day because, quite frankly, December 22nd didn't bring me anything joyous. So anyway, the man I'm doing for the birthday boy is now 73 years old. He is a former baseball player, playing baseball for the Dodgers and the Padres from 1969 to 1987. He is a Dodgers icon who decided to go to San Diego. It kind of ticks me off. Anyway, he is the MVP of the 1974 National League season and NLCS MVP in 78 and 84. 10-time NL All-Star and holds the National League record for consecutive games played with over 1,200. Cal Ripken's double is more than double his. And the Padres retired his number 6 in 1988 after he left. And the Dodgers, why haven't they retired his number 6? Kind of pathetic, don't you think? Anyway, his name is Steve Garvey. Garvey was actually a bat boy during spring training for Brooklyn, New York, and Detroit, which was nice. Garvey played football and baseball at Michigan State University. He actually was a defensive back for the 1967 squad and recorded 30 tackles. He was huge. His baseball jerseys retired from Michigan State University. Anyway, the LA Dodgers picked him in the first round of the 1968 MLB draft. And he made his major league debut September 1st, 1969 at the age of 20. He pinch hit for someone and struck out. He would have a few more play appearances in 1967 and got his first major league hit off of Denny LeMaster of the Astros. His first major league home run was off Montreal's Carlo Morton. He played third base for the Dodgers, but moved to first base after Wes Parker retired, and that actually brought Ron Cey up to be the third baseman. And Garvey was one of the most enduring infields in baseball history. Yeah, third baseman Ron Cey, shortstop Bill Russell, not that Bill Russell, white Bill Russell, second baseman Davey Lopes, and first base Steve Garvey. They played together for 8.5 years, and I believe Lopes was the first player to leave that squad. Anyway, it was huge. In 1974, he was in the All-Star game as a write-in vote. And then he shocked everyone by winning the NL MVP and all that. In the 1978 NLCS with the Dodgers facing the Phillies, Garvey put up a clinic, putting up 4 home runs, which tied Bob Robertson's record in 1971 for most home runs in an NLCS. That would actually be tied later on by Jeffrey Leonard, one flap down, as they call him, in 1987 for the Giants. In a losing effort, I might add, for Jeffrey Leonard because the Giants lost to the Cardinals in Game 7. Garvey's cheerful personality, his availability with reporters, and his willingness to sign autographs for fans made him very popular and all that. And the Dodgers made him a PR star, if you will. Unfortunately, some of the Dodger teammates were pissed off, saying that Garvey was only acting this way to get endorsement opportunities. The problem was that, Garvey was upset. He wanted the team to tell him to his face something, but they didn't. Anyway, there was another major rift in 78 when Don Sutton said that Garvey was the only Dodger to get publicity and all that. Garvey and Sutton had a fight and all that. Thankfully, it didn't come terribly and all that. With the Dodgers, Garvey played over 1,700 games in 14 seasons. Had 211 home runs and 992 RBIs. Man, he almost was a 1,000 RBI man for the Dodgers. Got to 8 All-Star games, won the All-Star MVP twice. He was very good at all that. Garvey decided to sign in December 1982 to the San Diego Padres. Not really a hated rival of the Dodgers, but, their California team. The Dodgers would keep his number 6 out of circulation for more than 2 decades until Gilbert Cabrera got it. It is actually Dodgers policy not to officially retire a number unless a player who spent the majority of his playing days with the franchise gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. And Steve Garvey is not in the Hall of Fame. I did not know that. That is pathetic. So once he's in the Hall of Fame, I think the Dodgers will give him the retirement number 6. Anyway, Garvey would sign a 5-year, $6.6 million deal with the Padres. And Jack McKeon, who would later go on to manage the 2003 Marlins for the World Series, was the GM, and it was amazing, all that. Garvey's value was to provide a role model for younger players, and Garvey's box office appeal. The problem was that when he left the Dodgers, Girl Scouts picketed the stadium, and San Diego's season tickets went up by over 6,000. Anyway, his first season in San Diego got him to break the National League record for consecutive games played. I think it was Billy Williams of the Cubs who had that record. And he was on Sports Illustrated's cover as Iron Man. Of course, this is before Cal Ripken Jr. came around. Anyway, Garvey would tie the record in his first appearance back at Dodger Stadium in Padre colors. The streak ended at 1,207 when he broke his thumb against the Braves in July of '83. It's the 4th longest streak in baseball history. I'm just trying to think. I know Ripken's number 1. Then I believe it is the guy who, Lou Gehrig. Is it Everett Scott who was number 3? Something like that? I feel like it's Everett Scott. It is Everett Scott, 1,307 from 1916 to 1925. So it was Ripken Jr., then Gehrig, then Scott. Garvey's 4th. Miguel Tejada is 5th overall. Wow, 1,152. Steve Brody. No, that's not right. I don't know who has the current streak. I don't know what happened, but yeah, Miguel Tejada was aiming close to maybe being top 3. Did I know that? Anyway, yeah. Anyhow, Steve Garvey was the only first baseman in Major League history to commit 0 errors while playing 150 games or more at first base. That's amazing. He handled over 1,300 chances, lots of putouts and assists flawlessly. Wow, that's amazing. Of course, his second season would be highlighted by his NLCS MVP award, which basically he won off of the back of his Game 4 home run off of Lee Smith to force Game 5 with the Padres and Cubs. Now remember, the NLCS at that time was a best of 5, not a best of 7. That would be an 85. And controversially, people say that it was because of the Cubs blowing that 2-0 series lead in the 84 NLCS why it was moved to best of 7 in 85. But I don't know. Anyway, his hot bat provided insurance for the top of the order, including Tony Gwynn. Game 4, Garvey had 4 RBIs, including 2 of them with that home run. Garvey would make his final appearance May 1987 and was still an icon and all that. 15 years he was on the Baseball Writers Association ballot for the Hall of Fame from 93 to 2007. Yet he didn't hit 75%. The worst feeling. The best he did was 42% in 1995. That was kind of pathetic. He was considered by the Hall of Fame's expansion era committee for 2011-2014. It was not elected. 2017, he was close to being part of the Hall's modern baseball era committee, but fell short. Garvey would only get 6 votes for the 2020 Hall of Fame class from the modern baseball era's committee. And they'll vote again in 2023. So Garvey, I think, will have to wait a couple more years before he gets in there. Kind of pathetic, don't you think? But anyway, Steve Garvey is amazing and all that. At age 22, he married his wife Cynthia to have 2 children, Krisha and Whitney. But Cynthia was not popular, and she left Garvey for composer Marvin Hamslich. And Garvey actually was involved with his secretary, so they divorced in 1983. Anyway, Garvey discovered that one person was pregnant with his child. But despite this, he proposed to someone else. But Garvey broke up their engagement and all that. So, and had a child. So Garvey had a child with one person and then with another. But he was engaged to Candace Thomas. All that. Garvey lost a lot of TV earnings and child support. But he did marry Candace and got 3 children. So he had 3 children with his wife, Candace, and then 4 from previous ideas. So anyway, he did pretty good for himself. I just wish that the Dodgers retired number 6, but policy just screws them up. Not good. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.